Now that we're about halfway through the NBA season, I wanted to talk about some players that I don't think have gotten enough recognition for their play so far this year. So this video is going to be about 5 players who are having underrated seasons so far this year. And the first player I want to highlight is Trey Murphy. Well, this season for the Pelicans has been nothing short of an absolute disaster. Trey Murphy III has been a bright spot for them so far this year. Trey has been a quality role player in the past and has been a valuable part of the Pelicans' success in prior seasons, but this year with all the injuries to New Orleans, he's gotten a chance to show what he can do. While Trey himself has been out for almost half the season due to injury, he's been really nice for New Orleans when he has been on the court. He's seen a pretty noticeable jump in his stats from last season as he's averaging 7 more points per game this season, scoring 22 points per game. A lot of times when players who are predominantly catch and shoot players are asked to carry more of an offensive load and make plays off the dribble, their efficiency drops and we start to see some ugly shooting percentages. But Trey has actually increased his field goal percentage from last year when he was mostly a catch and shoot guy. This year with the increase of ball handling reps, he's shown that he has a decent handle and can get to the rim and finish at a pretty nice rate. He's taking 9% more of his shots at the rim this season compared to last year, and is shooting 72% at the rim, which puts him in the 79th percentile for all wings. And with the increased rim pressure he is putting on teams, he's getting fouled more. He's been fouled on nearly 11% of his shots, which has had him jump from the 54th percentile to 79th percentile in percentage of fouls drawn while shooting, which is great since he shoots a fantastic 91% from the free throw line. The development this year has been a huge reason why the Pelicans now look at Trey as an untouchable to the rest of the NBA. The second player that I wanted to recognize is Norman Powell from the Clippers. Norman's been phenomenal so far this year and has stepped up big time for the Clippers during Kawhi Leonard's absence from the team in the first half of the season. Norman's also done a lot to replace the production that Paul George has provided the Clips in past years, and has actually been a better player so far this year than Paul, although there is still time for Paul to right the ship. Norman's increased his points per game by a whopping 10 points from last year to this year, and has been able to maintain his efficiency somehow, as his true shooting percentage has only gone down by 0.1%. His playstyle really hasn't changed much with the increased opportunities, as his rim, mid-range, and three-point shot rate are all very similar to where he's been in the past. He's just done a tremendous job of taking advantage of the increased workload. Before the season, he said that he viewed the Paul George departure from the Clippers as addition by subtraction, since he'd be taking a lot of the shot opportunities that PG would have had. And right now he's more than backing up his talk, as he's now one of the leading candidates for most improved player. Another guard taking advantage of an increase of opportunities this year is Austin Reaves. Austin was playing pretty well within his role for the Lakers. Since the D'Angelo Russell trade a few weeks ago, he's been excelling in his role as the Lakers' starting point guard. Since the trade, he's been averaging 19 points per game and nearly 9 assists per game, while keeping his turnovers under 3 per game. He's always been a capable playmaker, but the D'Angelo Russell for Dorian Finney-Smith trade has allowed Austin to show off his passing. His increased production since the D'Angelo Russell trade has now increased his season averages up to 18 points per game and 6 assists per game, and could continue to rise. Another positive from Reaves' season this year is that he's not dropped in shooting efficiency or had a big decrease in assist-to-turnover rate, as he has been asked to do more. As he has answered the bell so far this year with everything the Lakers have asked from him, his career trajectory continues to shift upwards after having been an undrafted free agent signed by the Lakers. I think he could have a similar career trajectory to Tyler Hero, where they are both very good role players for the first few years of their career, and then when given a bigger opportunity due to stars not being around as much or leaving, Jimmy Butler in Hero's case and LeBron retiring in Reeves' case, they ascend to a star-level player. Now shifting over to the Eastern Conference, the next player I wanted to bring up was Zach LaVine. Zach is the only former All-Star player on this list, therefore he has name recognition and will never be super underrated, but he has been great so far this year, and not that many folks are talking about it. Last year was a disappointing year for Zach, and it was starting to look like he might be on one of the worst contracts in the league, as he missed most of the season and didn't play well when he was on the court. But he has turned it around in a big way this year. With DeMar DeRozan departing the Bulls in free agency, LaVine has been able to play more freely on offense and put up more shots this year, and he's done well to make up for the loss of DeRozan. Zach is scoring nearly 5 more points per game this year, and has had a slight uptick in assists as well, but the most impressive part of his bounce-back year is his increased efficiency. Through half the season, LaVine is shooting 52% from the field and 45% from 3, and is currently at 65% true shooting percentage, all of which would be career highs for the 29-year-old two-time All-Star. This career year from LaVine has led to his name being one of the most prominent going into the trade deadline, and it's looking like the Bulls will actually have a chance at getting a decent return for him when just a few months ago, no team was even thinking about offering a first-round pick for him. And the last player that I wanted to spotlight in this video is Jalen Johnson of the Atlanta Hawks. Jalen would have been my pick for most improved player last year if he had met the games played requirement, but unfortunately he fell just short. Luckily for the Atlanta Hawks, Jalen has come out this year and proved that last season wasn't an aberration, and that he's actually gotten even better. With the departure of DeJounte Murray in the offseason, Jalen has assumed the role of second option for the Hawks, and he has done very well so far in his new role. Jalen is averaging 20 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, and 5 assists per game. He's one of only 4 players in the league averaging those numbers, and the other 3 are Jokic, Giannis, and Sabonis. So he's put himself in some great company. His size paired with his handle makes it pretty easy for him to get downhill where he can get to the rim or step back for an open mid-range jumper since his defender is so worried about him getting a layup. His size and handle also help him to play make, as when he penetrates the paint he's able to make dump-off passes or kick it out to open shooters. He's also shown that he can make cross-court passes, which is rare for a guy his size. While he is a very good player and seems to be a nice sidekick for Trae Young, he doesn't seem to be very well known outside of Atlanta and people who watch the NBA religiously. Hopefully he starts to get more recognition in the coming years because he's already an all-star caliber player and he still has room to grow.